I thought replacing a toilet would be the easiest part of my bathroom upgrade. But this one taught me that installation can be challenging while the finished result is absolutely worth it. After using the HOROW T0338W compact one-piece toilet for several weeks, I can honestly say I'm glad I chose it. I wanted something modern, compact, easy to clean, and comfortable to use every day. Looking back now, it delivered on almost everything I was hoping for. The first thing that impressed me was the design. The one-piece construction gives it a very clean, modern appearance that instantly upgrades the look of the bathroom. The smooth, skirted sides eliminate all the awkward corners where dust usually collects, so cleaning takes only a few minutes. It simply looks much more refined than a traditional two-piece toilet. I was also surprised by how well it fit into my bathroom. Even though it's a compact toilet, it doesn't feel small once you're actually using it. If you have a smaller bathroom, or even a half bath, the size feels just right without making the room feel crowded. Comfort has been another pleasant surprise. The ADA height of 17+ inches is indeed a comfortable height. The seat height feels much more natural, especially during everyday use. It's one of those features you don't think about until you've experienced it. Performance has also been solid. The flush cleans the bowl surprisingly well, and under normal daily use, one flush is usually enough. I wouldn't describe the flushing action as the strongest I've ever seen, especially when dealing with a larger amount of waste, but for regular household use it's been reliable and consistent. Cleaning is probably where this toilet shines the most. The smooth exterior means there are very few places for dirt to hide, and wiping everything down is quick and effortless. That's one of the reasons I wanted a skirted toilet in the first place, and it definitely lived up to my expectations. Now let's talk about installation, because this is where most people should be prepared. First of all, this toilet is heavy. At roughly 110 pounds, it's not something I would recommend lifting by yourself unless you absolutely have to. Having two people makes the installation much easier and much safer. The most important tip I can give is this: connect the water supply line to the toilet before placing it onto the floor. The water inlet sits underneath the back of the tank, and once the toilet is installed against the wall, there's almost no room to reach it. If you forget this step, you may end up removing the entire toilet just to reconnect the water line. Positioning the toilet over the flange bolts also requires patience. Since you can't actually see the bolts while lowering such a heavy toilet into place, lining everything up can be frustrating. The side access holes for tightening the mounting nuts are fairly small, so getting your hands inside takes a little patience, especially if the toilet is close to a wall. If you're installing it alone, I also recommend avoiding a traditional wax ring. If your alignment isn't perfect on the first try, you'll probably ruin the wax seal and have to start over. Using a reusable sealing system makes the process much less stressful and gives you more flexibility while positioning the toilet. One installation trick that worked surprisingly well was using a simple 2x4 in front of the flange while lowering the toilet into position. That made alignment much easier before sliding it into its final location. Another thing worth mentioning is the water connection itself. Instead of using a standard toilet connector, this model uses a faucet-style connector. It works perfectly once installed, but it isn't clearly explained, so it's worth checking before starting the installation. The packaging also deserves credit. Everything arrived extremely well protected, with thick foam surrounding the toilet from every direction. It's obvious that preventing shipping damage was part of the design. After everything was installed, I immediately appreciated how comfortable and practical it felt. The toilet fits my smaller bathroom perfectly, and despite the compact footprint, it never feels cramped. I was also relieved to discover that the rear of the base leaves enough space for water supply lines, even if your plumbing sits closer than normal. There are only a few things I would improve. The soft close seat takes over 30 seconds to close completely, which feels slower than necessary. It works quietly, but waiting for it to finish closing sometimes feels excessive. The dual flush buttons are also positioned fairly low because of the shorter tank design. They work perfectly well, but I think a slightly taller tank would make the buttons easier to reach, while also improving the overall appearance. The decorative chrome covers around the mounting area also feel less durable than the rest of the toilet. They're mainly cosmetic, but I would definitely avoid using harsh chemical cleaners on them. One area where this company really impressed me was customer support. Whenever I had a question, the responses were quick, helpful, and genuinely friendly. Even after the issue was resolved, they continued following up to make sure everything was working properly. That level of customer service is becoming increasingly rare, and it left a very positive impression. Overall, the HOROW T0338W compact one-piece toilet combines modern styling, excellent comfort, easy maintenance, and reliable everyday performance into one package. Yes, installation takes more planning than a traditional toilet because of the weight and limited access points. But once everything is in place, those frustrations quickly fade away. After living with it, I honestly understand why so many people end up buying another one for their next bathroom. If I was starting another bathroom renovation today, I wouldn't hesitate to choose the HOROW T0338W again. If you have any questions about this product, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.